Hello and welcome to more Grumpy Sound Guy content. I am your host, Mr. J.R. Everhart. Today we are going to jump back in to the conversation about the Behringer Wing. I had posted a video a couple weeks ago about my review of that piece of gear that is now coming out the rack and the compact. I got a lot of hate, which, I said in the original video, there was going to be some hate. I'm not discouraged by that in any way, shape, or form, specifically after the information that I'm going to bring to the table today. So stick around. You do not want to miss a second of today's Grumpy Sound Guy show. Hey guys, if I can have literally 60 seconds of your time here just to ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It costs absolutely nothing to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you can help us give you more of this content on the free side of the channel. Also, if you're really digging what we're doing here and you're digging the Grumpy Sound Guy content, please consider joining the membership side of the YouTube channel. It costs about $5 a month, so about the price of a Starbucks cup of coffee or whatever. You can become an inner circle supporter of the Grumpy Sound Guy and the content that I'm putting up. We'll get all kinds of really cool one-on-one live chat stuff in there, group chat stuff, all that sort of thing. Plus you'll get content that is posted there that will never become public, so make sure you get over there and check that out. And thank you for supporting everything that I'm doing here with the Grumpy Sound Guy. Okay, so let me start off by saying that I don't hate the wing, okay? So many of you guys, it's like the Ford and Chevy argument that's been going on for decades, Man, if you're a wing guy and you love wing and, your whole world is built around your wing ecosystem, man, rock it out, dude. I am not mad at you in any way, shape, or form. But my goal with this channel and with the Grumpy Sound Guy content outside of the satire and the comedic stuff that we do mainly in the short form videos, is also to try and equip guys who are getting ready to spend their hard-earned money on maybe a once in a 5-year opportunity to buy a new console, Those are the guys, that's my target audience. Those are the guys that I'm trying to reach and trying to make sure that they're not just getting biased interviews or reviews from guys that Behringer sent gear to, and they're all puffed up on their ego about, they're worthy of something like that to review gear. I get requests to review gear all the time. I usually deny most of them. First of all, they're not brands that I want to get behind, because if I don't believe in your brand, I'm not going to get on here and, say the things that you want me to say, Sometimes it's better to kind of just let sleeping dogs lie in that scenario. Plus, I'm trying to run a business here, guys. I am just a regular dude here. It's hard for me to keep up with all the content that is required to make this even resourceful, compared to the amount of time that I put into this content. So let me start that whole conversation with, dude, I'm not hating on you. But the thing that I see in so many different scenarios is, a guy had limited funds, or he was the guy that was in charge of buying gear at his church or at his nightclub, and he had one shot, to buy the gear because, the powers to be are not going to just keep writing you blank checks because you don't like the console you bought after you bought it. I can't tell you how many guys that I see in that scenario who just make a conscious decision that they're going to love the console and make the best of it, especially since they gave their expert opinion to the powers to be at your church or nightclub, excuse me, that this is the console that you need to buy. This is what's going to kind of buy us another 10 years of, at least like 8 years, you know, of service. And I mean, man, guys, it's just frustrating. It's frustrating for me to see guys throwing away, good money after bad and stuff like that. I deal with a lot of churches, and I see a lot of churches do stuff. Some of you guys have come at me about my love of the M32 as if I'm in that category. I'm not. I have the money and could buy any ecosystem I want. I chose M32 because I like the workflow, and I think it's pretty much a workhorse, you know. That's why I own, 4 or 5 of them, you know. But I mean, I'm not like just blindly sold out to the M32. I would really like, as I said in the first Behringer Wing video, I would really like to see Allen and Heath make an SQ 96K rack mixer with 32 inputs and 16 outs. Now, I have some industry friends who have contacted me after my last video and said to hold on to my shorts because Midas is getting ready to release some things at NAMM in January. So let's just pray to God that we'll get, a Midas level, Midas quality, product, similar to what I'm requesting there. So I mean, the long and short of it is I came out in the first video, I tried to warn you guys that, hey, this is built to X32, build quality. It's not the greatest build in the world. Neither is the M32, but at least the M32 has, Nutrix connectors, and there's actually a little more quality and robustness built into that unit. And now I'm starting to get people who are coming back to me saying, JR, you were right. I bought the console, I bought the rack unit, I bought the compact, I bought the new black version of the full-size wing, and I'm having problems with it right out of the box. Buttons aren't working, encoders aren't working, we're having screen blackout issues, it's locking up, it's having problems booting. I'm sure, this is a minority of units, but I just got to communicate the feedback that I'm getting. This is my followers' words, not my words. And for every one of you guys who say, how can this guy sit there and review this unit and he doesn't even have one in front of him and he doesn't even own one? Well, I do have some time on a wing, and I understand what they're going for there. Man, dude, the thing looks great on paper. It really does. It's the build quality, man. It's the build quality that jacks me up. I don't want to see you have to go through what everybody went through in the first gen of the X32, because that seems like exactly what is going on here. I didn't make these claims up, I don't need to own an airplane that's falling out of the sky to, form the opinion that, hey, that's an airplane that's falling out of the sky. I probably don't want to ride on that airplane. That model airplane is probably not the kind of airplane that I would want to buy if I was in the market for an airplane. I can look at the spec sheets after 35 plus years in this business and mixed on a broad range of consoles across all different brands, and can make an assessment just off the spec sheet, just off the physical reviews that I've seen online. And it's not rocket science, man. If it was, then, I'd have one right in front of me. We'd be going through it step by step. But I don't think that's even necessary in this case, because the original white wing had some issues out of the box. They got those things resolved. And I'm not saying that the issues that people are having now won't get resolved 6 months from now, or 2 months from now, or 2 years from now. I don't know. I don't have a Behringer crystal ball to tell you when they're going to ante up and fix the things that are going wrong with these units. What I will say is, if you're really that in love with this ecosystem of wing, and you're really that in love with the features that it's offering, I would suggest that you wait at least a year to 18 months before even considering buying any of this new generation of wing. Honestly, in a year to 18 months, there may be something way, way better on the market that kind of makes the wing look like an X32 in comparison to the feature set that it brings to the table. Because there are other manufacturers who are paying attention to what's going on with the wing, and don't think for a second that they're going to, let that go without some kind of response. And when you start talking about companies with reputable, durability and reputations of quality, for decades, like Soundcraft, like Allen and Heath, like Midas, Yamaha, when them guys come to the table, man, they're not going to mess around when they build something like this. So if you wait that year to 18 months, you might find yourself in with a lot of choices. Let me put it that way. A lot of choices outside of what the wing is. Look, you can hate on me all you want if you're a wing owner and you think that I'm just completely full of bull butter and I don't know what I'm talking about and all that kind of, I've heard that kind of stuff for years because I've always had very opinionated, responses to new gear. I'm just calling them like I see them. I'm a blue collar guy trying to run my own production business. If it was all that, I would already own a wing. And I have buddies of mine who own their own production companies who own these things, and they're not really setting the world on fire. I still see them pulling their X32s and their M32s out to their live shows. Why not the wing? Why not the wing? I'm sure there's a reason for that. I'm sure there's a variety of reasons for that. Don't hate the messenger, hate the message. And I'm not the one that's creating the message. I am responding to the people who are contacting me in private messages, a whole bunch of them over on Facebook, because a lot of my followers follow me over on Facebook, and we talk back and forth one-on-one. I'm not a hater, guys. I don't hate, I appreciate. But I've got to call it like I see it. And if I see a product hit the market that I don't think is probably in your best interest right now, then I've got to say that. And that's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. If Behringer sent me a full size, a compact, and a rack tomorrow to review, I would have zero confidence in taking those desks out on my gigs, because my gigs, I have a very good reputation of being consistent, and I don't use my clients as guinea pigs, okay? We may go run them through their paces here at the shop. I may even find a buddy's band that's rehearsing somewhere that we could set it up and put it in a controlled environment that way. But as far as taking it out on a gig that I'm getting paid to do, I take what I'm asked to do very seriously. I don't feel confident in the wing. I just don't. I'm one of the few guys online who's got the balls to stand up and say, hey, this ain't the messiah of sound consoles, okay? Yes, there's a ton of features for the price. Like I said, on paper, it looks amazing. But none of those features do you any good if you can't get the freaking thing to boot up. Or it shuts down in the middle of a show. Or it locks up. Or you can't get your iPad connected to it. Don't hate on me for it. I'm not the one that made the damn thing. I'm not the one that, didn't put quality control in its proper place or vet the thing at the factory to a point to where you don't have these issues when it rolls out to production. And that's the problem. They make these things and they rush them out the door, and then they let you, the end user. So all y'all feel warm and fuzzy about Behringer, you, the end user, be the guinea pig. You put your money on the line to buy the thing, and then if it fails, oh, sorry. And let's all be honest, Behringer doesn't have the greatest service right now. There's one service center in all of North America. It's in Las Vegas. Now, you may find an electronics repair shop that will be willing to dig into it. I know a bunch of guys online that are novice electronics nerds that love to work on, the X32s and the M's and the wings and, fix stuff. Hey, I ain't saying you can't find that, but getting factory support is not Behringer's strong point, okay? So if you're going to buy these products, you need to be prepared for all that, because what are you going to do if you get to your first gig with the thing and you get 3 songs, 4 songs into the first set, or halfway through the second set, having just killed and crushed the room with the first set, and the console shuts down. You better have a spare in the truck. I always try to carry a spare with me, even if it's just a little 16-channel analog console, just something to get us through the gig if something like that happens. Look, all these things are basically computers with a work surface. In some cases, they don't even have that. They have a friggin' iPad app that you use to control it with. We all know computers crash from time to time. It just comes with the territory. You better have a plan B in place. You better have a plan B in place. Because when you stand there and blame the evening's issues on the new wing or whatever console you're using in that scenario, your client really don't give a rip about that. Okay, let me just let you in on a little secret there. Your client doesn't care. They thought they were hiring someone who had tested the equipment in a controlled environment so that when they got out to the gig, they don't have those kind of problems. Again, don't get mad at me, but dude, that's how we do business here at CLP Audio. You know, we do not use our clients as guinea pigs. I can't tell you, my neighbors can attest to the times we've set full rigs up here at our shop and blown them out for, you know, an hour straight, you know, making sure that we're not going to have issues with it. Or went to a local park on a Tuesday afternoon with a band, you know, for a rehearsal kind of live mock, you know, dress rehearsal, you could call it, or whatever title you want to put on it, to try the gear out in a controlled environment with no one in front of the band. These are the things you got to consider, man. Everything is so friggin' expensive right now. I know that, you know, the economic side of this with the wing is so attractive. I get it, man. I get it. But you're probably going to be money ahead if you keep saving your nickels and dimes, wait 6 months or a year, and see what everyone else is going to release. We got winter NAMM coming up in January, summer NAMM, you know, next summer. I mean, the spring is a hotbed time when people are releasing new gear. I really don't buy anything, any big ticket stuff until after at least winter NAMM, you know. I want to see what everyone's going to release. I want to see what people are trying to, you know, bring to the table, because this technology is getting better. Look, I get it. The X and M32 setups it's kind of old hat compared to some of the stuff that's coming out now. I get it. But they're also workhorses, you know, especially the M. They're workhorses, man. You know, that Yamaha TF line, that's a workhorse, you know. I don't like the workflow on it. It's not my favorite console, but I'll bet you the damn thing fires up every time you hit the power switch. There's something to be said for brand recognition and brand quality. That's why I lean toward the Midas stuff. I think it's just a step ahead. If they give us a Midas level wing, well, you know what, man? I'm probably going to be interested in that. I really am. I love the features that the wing brings to the table. It's the build quality that's got me scratching my head. Now, if you want to be one of the guinea pigs and, you know, call your Washington Music rep or your, you know, Pro Audio Star rep or your Sweetwater rep or whoever it is that you buy gear from and want to jump on the new wing compact or wing rack bandwagon, you do you, boo. I ain't mad at you. Give me some feedback. Maybe you'll be probably the 8 out of 10 who get wings that don't have a problem. But it's also a gamble. You may be one of those other 2 that do end up with a problem. And then what are you going to do? Well, if it's under 30-day warranty or something, you probably take it back to the store and they'll give you another one, you know, or something like that. But dude, you get 6 months or a year down the road with this thing, who's going to work on it? I knew that when I dove into the M32 ecosystem. These are throwaway consoles, dude. That's why most of my M32s are M32Cs, so I don't have the control surface hardware issues to deal with. I have one. That's right here behind me. It's in that case next to these speakers. And we take it out for nationals. The other 3 that I have, 3? Yeah. The other 3 that I have, M32s, and I have an X32 rack and an S32 stage box that's in a C rig that we just use for like Talking Heads gigs and stuff like that. I knew when I bought this stuff that if it starts breaking and it starts failing, you might as well toss it in the trash, because there's not a lot of people out there who's going to service it. And then hopefully you got 1,000 shows out of the thing, and it paid for itself 100 times over, and you don't feel guilty about having to do that. I have a sneaking suspicion from the intel that I'm getting, and I'm not at liberty to talk about a lot of stuff because I've been sworn to secrecy with some of this, but I have a sneaking suspicion that the products that are going to come out between January and April of 2025 are going to blow our mind, and I think we're all going to be looking back on this like, the wing ain't really the hottest guy on the block anymore. Don't you think there's a reason why they released the rack and the compact in the fall before namm? It's not rocket science, guys. It's not rocket science. What did they do? The first thing they did was drop all the Behringer prices, all the X stuff, just right to the floor. I even anteed up and bought an X32 rack when they dropped the prices. That happened in September. Now here we are in October. They released the new wing lineup. That's going to give them, you know, king of the hill rights until this other stuff is released January, you know, to spring 25. They didn't want to be in that group of brands to have to compete with them. They were smart. Uni Behringer's not an idiot, okay? They were smart and released that stuff by itself in the fall, 3-4 months before namm, and that gives them 3 or 4 months worth of revenue. The quantity revenue went through the friggin' roof when they lowered the prices on all the X stuff. Dude, that's genius. That's not bad business, man. That's good business, you know? But you think they don't hear the same rumors that I'm hearing? Hell, they own Behringer. They know what Behringer's going to put out in, you know, January. But they don't know what Allen and Heath has up their sleeve, or Yamaha, or Soundcraft, because I'm hearing rumors that Soundcraft is up to something for another rack mixer. Stick around, and I guess we'll all find out. So this is my Behringer Wing Chapter 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to hate on me, I don't care. If you get what I'm saying and you're understanding what I'm trying to bring to the table here and trying to save you money, then please give me a thumbs up. Please hit a comment down in the comment section and say, yes, JR, I see what you're saying. I am interested in the wing, but I think I'm going to take your advice, and I'm going to wait another 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, and see what's going to hit the market in 25 before I go and blow my money on this. Or at the very least, give the wing a year to 18 months to get the bugs worked out of it, and then dive into the wing ecosystem. That might be the smartest thing to do if you're absolutely positively sold out on the wing. Hit me in the comments section. Let me know all that stuff. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.